In a small, bustling village surrounded by lush green fields, there lived a young man named Arjun. He was known for his hard work and determination, toiling day and night to make a better life for himself and his beloved wife, Sita. The couple had married young, and though they had little in terms of wealth, their love for each other made their life in the village content. Arjun was ambitious. He dreamed of leaving the village and making a fortune in the city, where he believed endless opportunities awaited. After years of saving and planning, Arjun finally decided it was time to take the leap. With Sita by his side, they left their humble village behind and moved to the bustling city. Life in the city was not easy at first. Arjun and Sita struggled to adapt to the fast-paced life and the constant hustle, but Arjun's determination never wavered. He took up odd jobs and slowly started to climb the ladder, from working as a laborer to becoming a small-time trader. With Sita's unwavering support, he managed to save enough to start his own business. As time passed, Arjun's business began to flourish. He expanded his trade, made connections, and soon became one of the most successful men in the city. His wealth grew, and so did his ego. The more he acquired, the more he desired. The humble village boy was long gone, replaced by a man obsessed with power and status. As Arjun's wealth and status grew, so did his pride. He began to feel that Sita, with her simple village ways and modest appearance, was no longer fit to stand by his side. In his mind, he had outgrown her, and he began to distance himself from her. Sita, who had sacrificed everything to support Arjun's dreams, noticed the change in her husband but hoped that it was just a phase. But Arjun's heart had hardened. The more success he tasted, the more he resented the simplicity that Sita represented. He started spending more time away from home, mingling with the city's elite, while Sita stayed home, tending to the house and waiting for her husband to return. One day, Arjun met a woman named Reena at a lavish party. Reena was everything he now valued: beautiful, fashionable, and well-connected in the city's high society. She was the perfect symbol of the life he believed he deserved. Arjun quickly became infatuated with her, convinced that she was the one who could elevate his status even further. Blinded by his desire for more, Arjun made a cruel decision. He came home one evening and coldly told Sita that she no longer had a place in his life. He accused her of being a burden, holding him back from achieving his true potential. Sita was devastated, unable to comprehend how the man she had loved and supported could turn against her so heartlessly. Ignoring her pleas and tears, Arjun threw Sita out of their home, leaving her with nothing but the clothes on her back. The streets of the city were unforgiving, and Sita, who had known only the love and security of her husband, was left alone and vulnerable. Arjun wasted no time in marrying Reena, throwing a grand wedding that was the talk of the city. He basked in the attention and admiration, feeling that he had finally achieved the life he had always dreamed of. But as the days turned into weeks, Arjun began to realize that all the wealth and status he had gained came at a price. Reena, who had married Arjun for his money and position, was nothing like Sita. She was demanding and manipulative, always seeking more luxury and never satisfied with what she had. Arjun found himself constantly trying to please her, but nothing he did was ever enough. The warmth and love that had once filled his life with Sita were gone, replaced by coldness and emptiness. Meanwhile, Sita, despite the hardships she faced, found strength within herself. She took shelter in a temple, where the kind priests and other devotees offered her food and a place to sleep. Slowly, she began to rebuild her life, finding solace in helping others and connecting with those who were also struggling in the city. Her gentle spirit and resilience earned her the respect and love of those around her. As the years passed, Arjun's business began to falter. Reena, seeing that Arjun's fortunes were declining, lost interest in him. She left him for a wealthier man, leaving Arjun alone and broken. The empire he had built began to crumble, and he found himself drowning in debt. One day, after losing everything, Arjun wandered the streets, homeless and desperate. In his despair, he found himself near the temple where Sita had found refuge. To his shock, he saw her, surrounded by people who admired and cared for her. She looked peaceful, a stark contrast to the tortured man he had become. Overcome with guilt and regret, Arjun approached Sita. Falling to his knees before her, he begged for her forgiveness, tears streaming down his face as he recounted his wrongdoings. Sita, who had long since healed from the pain he had caused her, looked at him with pity. "I have forgiven you, Arjun," she said softly, "but I have moved on. You must find your own path now." With those words, Sita turned and walked away, leaving Arjun to reflect on the choices that had led him to this point. He had gained everything he thought he wanted, only to lose the one person who truly mattered. Arjun spent the rest of his days wandering the city, a broken man haunted by his past mistakes. And Sita, though she had suffered greatly, found peace and purpose in her new life, surrounded by the love and respect she had always deserved.